Alimentation Couche-Tard Incorporated, owner of Circle K, boosted its stake in Canadian cannabis company Fire and Flower Holdings Corporation. OTCQX, FLWF, converting roughly $52 million it held in debt to equity. Following the transaction, the retail giant will own 19.9% of Fire and Flower. I think the move by Alimentation Couche-Tard doesn't get nearly the amount of attention it should, Green Market Report editor-in-chief Deborah Borchardt told Benzinga. Seeing a bigger move in the convenience store space towards cannabis should be unsettling to most cannabis companies, she warned, wondering if smaller producers will eventually be relegated to craft cannabis, as the volume players become the Budweisers and Miller beer versions of cannabis. Benzinga cannabis content is now available in Spanish on El Plantio. Houseplant, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's cannabis and lifestyle brand, is launching in the US on March 11. The brand was founded in Canada back in April 2019 in partnership with cannabis giant Canopy Growth Corporation, NYSE, CGC. Since then, it has become one of the most coveted celebrity-backed brands in the cannabis industry. In an email to Benzinga, Houseplant explained that Canopy will continue to be its licensee in Canada, but is not involved in the US launch. In turn, Canopy launched its own CBD-infused sparkling water, dubbed Quattro, in the US as well. Policy moves. Virginia lawmakers approved a bill to legalize the commercial marijuana program. The legislation allows people over the age of 21 to use cannabis, starting January 1, 2024, as well as the possession of up to an ounce of cannabis. Michigan's marijuana regulatory agency disclosed that the state's recreational cannabis market is opening to a new competition as of March 1. Iowa lowered penalties for those caught with small amounts of marijuana. Under Senate Study Bill 1226, which passed subcommittee by a unanimous vote, possession of under 5 grams of marijuana is considered as a simple misdemeanor for a first offense. The Mississippi House decided to go with the medical marijuana program voters approved in November, despite passing an alternative last month. Mexico is on the verge of legalizing marijuana. A floor vote on a bill is scheduled for the government's Chamber of Deputies for March 9. Financings and M&A. MariMed Incorporated, OTCQX, MRME, closed a $46 million financing facility with Hadron Healthcare Fund. Beacon Securities Limited advised the deal. Schwartz, previously known as Medicine Man Technologies Incorporated, OTCQX, SHWZ, raised $34 million. CRW Capital Can Holding LLC, an affiliate of Dye Capital, led the latest investment round, alongside other investors. The company also completed the acquisition of 5 Colorado-based Star Buds dispensaries in a $72.3 million stock and cash deal this week. Grelane Holdings Incorporated, NASDAQ, Gene Ellen acquired the Ace brand and all of Ace assets. Ace is a leading manufacturer of specialty silicone smoking products. The Valens Company Incorporated, TSEX, VLNS at OECQX, VLNCF have acquired Canadian edibles manufacturer LYF Food Technologies Incorporated in a cash and stock transaction valued at CA $24.9 million, $19.68 million. Foyan Incorporated and NASDAQ, Fongo was officially launched after the completed combination of Helix Technologies Incorporated and Medical Outcomes Research Analytics, LLC. Shares began trading on NASDAQ under the symbol FORA on March 3. The increased growth of alternative therapeutics uniquely positions Foyan to support both the healthcare and cannabis industries, CEO Dan Barton told Benzinga. The combination of our organization's significant capabilities and the commitment to invest will drive innovations to support our customers' clinical, product development, and marketing needs. Terra Tech Corporation and OECQX, TREC agreed to acquire Umbella Incorporated for an undisclosed price. Biosciences company Exmaceuticals Incorporated, a CSE, EXM is poised to merge with Global Cannabinoids AGC, a business-to-business, a B2B, distributor of hemp oil, extract, isolates, and finished products. The combined entity will operate as Global Cannabinoids. Ionevia Brands agreed to acquire substantially all the assets from Nevada-based Strains Incorporated and Colorado-based Bronner Corporation, including a processing and manufacturing facility in Denver, and 3 brands. Earnings reports. Lowell Farms Incorporated, OTCQX, INDXF, previously known as Indus Holdings, reported quarterly revenue of $9.2 million, down 15% slip from the corresponding 3-month period in 2019. Tume Holdings Incorporated, OTCQB, CHOF, posted its second quarter of fiscal 2021 revenue of $6.1 million, up by a whopping 350% from the same period in the prior year. Columbia Care Incorporated, NEO, CCW, OTCQX, CCWF, released preliminary financial results for the fourth quarter and full year 2020. It expects combined quarterly revenue to hover $81.8 million. That's up by 234% year-over-year. High Tide Incorporated, OTCQB, HITIF, wrapped up fiscal 2020 with roughly $8 million, $6.32 million in adjusted EBITDA, and $83.2 million, $65.7 million in revenue. Australis Capital, OTCQB, OSAF, reported generating $90,000 in revenue in the third quarter while posting a net loss of $19.4 million. Heritage Cannabis, OTCQX, HEREF, revealed its gross revenue declined by 58% year-over-year to $1.5 million in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2020. Meanwhile, its full-year gross revenue spiked 160% over the same period, reaching roughly $9.26 million. Capta Capital Corporation, a CSE, CPER, generated over $4.2 million in revenue for the quarter ending December 31st. That's a year-over-year increase of 99%. Ganja Goddess reported 100% growth in revenue year-over-year, a 53% uptick in customers coming onto the platform and making purchases, and a 635% increase in revenue for cannabis products marketed to support sleep. CEO Zachary Pitts told Benzinga, with the pandemic creating a range of challenges for everyone, it's been interesting to see which types of products our consumers demanded the most and how their purchases are mirroring those challenges.
That was quite a bit of information on a lot of different companies there. I have owned TerraTech years and years ago. Did okay on it. I have owned Greenland Holdings recently. Did pretty well on it. I have had a few of these ETFs, the Amplify Seymour ETF, the THCX, the Yellow, the MJ. I think I've had those. So I've had my hand in a few of these tickers. Not really looking to do anything in the future with them yet. But that's an interesting story. That's a lot of information to go through. So this is our first Saturday morning weekend recap report for the Johnny Fongo Show. I want to thank everyone for listening to my podcast. I'm having fun with it. It's a great way to share my research with other like-minded people. I'm nothing special, just a guy, farm boy from Indiana. But I do enjoy the research. I do enjoy investing and trading and seeing where this sector is ultimately going to go. I've been in it since 2012. And back then there was just very few companies to look at. Now there are hundreds that we can look at and initiate research on. So once again, this is the Johnny Fongo Show. I am Johnny Fongo. I appreciate you listening and have a profitable day.